Welcome to another episode of Sunstone's Couch with Counselors. Today we got Gina Hafez with us. How's it going?
Good, as
Awesome.
good as can be.
Oh, great. Gina is a resident with us at our McLean office.
That's right.
Cool. Well, just to kind of get things started off, Gina, what I'd love to get to know a little bit is what got you interested in counseling?
So first of all, great question. I love that question. I think if I was picking a therapist, I'd really want to know that.
Yeah.
So I think for me, the question has always been, when I was a kid, I was growing up, I was like, why are we here, right?
Sure.
And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people these days can resonate with that. And so it's kind of this existential quest of like what I was here for. And I think the answer ended up being to walk into the answer, so with someone.
Okay.
And a therapist essentially does that.
Right.
For me, I kind of jumped around looking for that by myself. So I worked at a jail, I worked at a mental hospital, I sold tea for a while, I tried to become an EMT. Yeah, I was like seeking these experiences that were either very simple and casual and maybe the answer was there.
Yeah.
Or if it was like this epic thing that just gave me meaning, like saving a life.
Wow.
I think therapy is somewhat of all of those things.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. Well, it is very much like trying to understand a little bit of like how we can live a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's that, and also when that question comes up, I think it's very scary and dark, and I think that there often isn't a person there to walk with you there. And personally, I would have loved to have someone that I was strong enough to open up to and could navigate that very scary space with me. And so I spent a lot of time figuring that by myself, and I was like, how cool would it be if I was the person that somebody was like, hey, I have this crazy thought that keeps coming up, like, why am I here? What are we doing here? And I got to be that person that helped.
That help people out. Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Kind of help them walk the pathway of life.
Yeah, or the interior of their mind, or, you know, sort of the kinds of thoughts that come along with why am I here, which often, you know, can range from, you know, suicidal thoughts to like certain breakdowns or things that make you think you knew what your life was about, and then it just turns upside down.
Yeah. Well, because you also find that sometimes people come and they talk with us about those things that give them their lives meaning, like their relationships, their jobs, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's the short version.
Cool. Well, maybe we can give a more detailed version in another video.
Maybe.
Well, like, and just from that little brief discussion about there, I mean, you're kind of highlighting just like the other side of therapy, which is kind of like our side, so to speak. And like as we work with clients and as we, you know, see people from all different walks of life, we experience things and we learn different things. And as you kind of look at your time, and maybe not just in counseling, but in all of these other experiences and jobs that you mentioned, I'm curious, what's something that you have learned about yourself or about life that you've kind of been taking with you throughout your own path?
Yeah. So there's a lot that happens to us on the other side from our clients, and they don't get to see that. And a part of me is like, I wish they could see that they impact us too.
Right.
And the big one is that this one's a little sad, but like we're not always the best fit for them, and sometimes they need another therapist. And so I've had people who I've worked with for a while, and then we reached a natural stopping point. I've had people where maybe, you know, based on who I am and sort of these existentially heavy things, like maybe somebody picks that up and it doesn't feel like the right fit for them at that time.
Sure.
And so I think I've just learned that we as people, we individually can't be that person for every person at that time. And so it's just like a powerful kind of, you know, it's a little crushing at first because people like us are like, oh, I want to help everybody. But it's humbling too. And, you know, we work with so many great therapists that I would like happily be like, hey, if this isn't the best fit, like, I just want you to have somebody. So that, I think I take that with me everywhere.
Right. I think that's really big because that just shows that like I'm more invested in your personal growth than me being a part of that experience with you, right? Yeah. And so sometimes that might mean working with somebody else. and sometimes I mean working with me, like if we're a good fit. Right?
Yeah, or pushing yourself to say the things that you worry I wouldn't accept or I wouldn't be able to understand. So it's like you either push yourself a little bit more naturally and test the relationship, or just we make a decision together and wouldn't hurt me in the ways that you think it would because of what you said. It's like I want you to have that, you know, mental, spiritual, emotional companion on wherever you are, and if it's not me, I just, you know, we have to let that go.
Right. One of the hidden sides of being a therapist. Right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me, and thanks for all that you're doing, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
No problem.